Now we're going to look at the very interesting chart of Bill Cosby, born July 12th, 1937, 0 degrees, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. If we were to look at the eastern horizon when he was born, you would see this is always the rising sign, the 12th sign of Pisces, or the constellation associated with the 12th sign of Pisces rising at 0 degrees. And 0 degrees becomes the most effective point of every house. Any planet within 5 degrees has some impact. So let's start looking here then. Excuse me. The rising sign degree is 27 degrees. Any planet like Sun or Mars within 5 degrees has some impact. 27 is the most effective point of every house. So we're first going to look at how the planets are operating, whether they're strong or weak, whether they can cause challenges or not, and then we're going to look at when they're operating, the dasha periods and transits, and then we'll look at what could be done in terms of remedies for the chart. So Pisces is a dual water sign, very creative, can be imbalanced and divided at times. Let's look at Sun. Sun is ruling the sixth house, and any Multikona sign that falls in the sixth, the eighth, the 12th house. So the Multikona signs are 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 11. So the sign of Leo in the sixth house, and it's ruled by Sun, becomes functional malefic, and it can cause challenges in his life. As well as the seventh sign, which is Libra, ruled by Venus, is a functional malefic and can cause challenges, as well as the 11th sign of Aquarius in the 12th house, ruled by Saturn, can cause some challenges. So Sun is functional malefic. It's very close to the most effective point, so it can afflict any houses that it is in or aspects in the transit or the natal chart. It is ruling this house of conflicts, health issues, and lack of peace of mind, and it is found in the house of family. So Sun, it gives leadership qualities. It's just slightly in old age, so it's weak, and it rules this house of happiness through home life, which has not always been happy for him. It also has to do with health issues like cardiovascular issues that he needs to watch out for, and also eye issues. Apparently he has some eye issues. Moon is at 18 degrees. It rules the fifth house of children, education, and investments, and it is placed in the sixth house of health issues and conflicts, debts, and disputes. So Moon means working with public, educating the public. This is the house of education. And children. So he had children's educational shows, and so those were very popular. Mars is at 27 degrees in old age, so it's weak, and it is close to the most effective point as well, so it does have an impact. And Mars aspects 4, 7, and 9, 4, 7, and 8 houses away, so we'll take a look at that. It is ruling the second house of wealth and status or fame, and it is so he gained wealth and status through his first TV show, which was I Spy, and in that he did partook in martial arts. So Mars is that aggressive kind of it can be related to martial arts. And also give him discipline and the ability to, do a lot in his life. Um, so Mercury is at 0 degrees, very weak. It rules this house, the seventh house of partnerships, and it is placed in um, the house of children, education, and investments. So because it's weak and it rules this house of relationships, his partnerships. He was unfaithful in his partnerships, um, and but it did give him a very intelligent wife. I think she's a professor. So Jupiter, also at 29 degrees in old age, rules this house, the career house. And see, the outer is the transits, and the inner is where the planets were when you were born. So Jupiter's in this house, the career house, the 10th house, and it's in its own sign, which gives it some redeeming quality, even though it's weak. It gives a career, and Jupiter is education, gives a career through educating others, through his TV shows, especially the kids' TV shows, and the Cosby Show, which he played a father and gave a lot of lessons to um, children in that show. And he was also a writer. Jupiter is writing. It's afflicted by Sun, and Sun is a functional malefic, so it definitely gives some moral indecision on his part. Venus is at 11 degrees. Remember, it's a functional malefic, so it can cause some challenges. It is ruling this house of windfalls and also some obstacles and challenges and marital infidelity. His and Venus is also about entertainment. So it's in this house of entrepreneurial success and entertainment. So fine arts, performing arts, and he's also was a musician as well. Played in a jazz band, I guess, and so it is afflicted by Saturn. And Saturn, remembers, in this 12th house of addictions, and moral issues, sexual issues. So yeah, so it gives those issues in his life. Now Saturn is again ruling this house of addictions and moral issues, sexual issues. It's a functional malefic, and also this is how Saturn has to do with civil lawsuits as well. And so he had a lot of legal issues and addictions, and was charged with sexual assault by many, many, many women. Rahu and Ketu, they're at 21 degrees. Rahu also has something to do with addiction. Ketu gives lessons in terms of Ketu's in this third house of entrepreneurial success. And Ketu, being that spiritual influence, brings some lessons to. So he, during his entrepreneurial success, he, wavered in terms of these sexual assaults. So it gave some lessons to be past life lessons there. So now we'll look at when the planets were operating. In 1964, he got married and he had a successful TV show, and that was during a Moon-Venus period. Venus is entertainment. Moon is working with the public, and Venus is also wife. So that very closely aligned with the planetary dasha period. In 1976, he got his doctorate. That was during a Jupiter period. Jupiter is education. In 1997, his son was killed while he was changing a tire in Los Angeles. That was during a Jupiter-Mercury period. So Jupiter is children, and Mercury is very weak in the house of children. So that can cause some issues there. Uh, Now, during a lot of these legal issues that were happening by past women who were accusing him of sexual assault, he was in a Saturn moon period. So, public, so the Saturn has to do again with the addictions and the civil lawsuits, and moon has to do with, conflicts and disputes. So now we look at the latest court case where he was actually found guilty of sexual assault. Um, that was April 26, 2018. You can see that Jupiter, representing his career, a lot of his accolades were taken away from him because of his behavior. And Jupiter is in this eighth house of obstacles. It's at the most effective point, which is within 2 degrees. So Jupiter's here at 25 degrees, transiting that eighth house. And so it's afflicting 5, 7, and 9 houses away. Well, no, let's see here. Yeah, it's one. It's not afflicting, but it's causing trouble. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, family, 6, 7, fame, recognition, 8, 9, and again with this legal addictions, sexual addictions, legal issues. So let's see what else is happening here. Rahu and Ketu are at 17 degrees. So Rahu is afflicting Mercury. Mercury, again, for him is relationships, and it's in the house of education, children. So yeah, Mercury, breakdown of communications, all of those kinds of things. Let's see what else is happening. I think those are the main things. Also, Moon on that day was in the sixth house of conflicts and delays, disputes. And so it was at 29 degrees, very close to the most effective point, so causing issues there as well. So those are the main points for Bill Cosby. Now, if we wanted to look at the remedies, all of his planets have some weakness. So strengthening Sun with a Sun yantra placed in a kavash would boost his Sun. Oh no, it's a functional malefic. So we don't want to strengthen Sun. We want to transform Sun by listening to Vishnu chants and also doing charities, supporting charities. Moon is also somewhat weak. It's in this sixth house. Any planet that's in the 6th, 8th, or 12th automatically becomes weak. So strengthening Moon by wearing white clothing, Moon yantra and a kavash would be good. That's a locket that contains the yantra to strengthen Moon. Mars is also in old age. It's weak. It could be strengthened by wearing red clothing and yantra in a kavash. Mercury is very weak. Also, yantra and a kavash could strengthen Mercury. Jupiter, 29 degrees, old age, very weak. Yeah, so this is when it's 0, it's in infant state. Any planet that's less than 5 degrees is in infant state. The infant cannot protect or promote its significations. So with Jupiter, same thing. So strengthening Jupiter with a yantra and a kavash would be excellent to support his career. Venus is functional malefic, so we want to transform that by helping women, charities for women, and also, yeah, so let's see. So, and listening to Lakshmi chants on Fridays. Um, Saturn is also functional malefic, so listening to Shiva chants on Saturdays and helping charities for people who cannot help themselves. So those are the main points for the Bill Cosby chart. If you're interested in getting a reading, you can go to vastucreations.com. Under services, you'll find astrology readings. Or if you want to learn transformational Vedic astrology, you can go to American Institute of Vastu.com. And under astrology, you'll see level 1 and level 2 certification.